And you know what? It's not only a God right here in Russellville, Logan County, Kentucky, but all over the world. And there's a family that went down to Guatemala last week. They got back. And, I wanted them to come and just share briefly. Can you give a warm welcome to the Bingham family?
Sure. We're going to take a total of about 10 minutes. Then Blake will tell about our schedule a little bit. And then Mel will talk a little, and I'll finish up. All right, Will, tell them what you found out.
Hey, let's give Will a welcome, will we?
Well, in this specific picture, we were actually visiting a trash dump, which was very sad because there were families that actually lived where everyone dumped their trash, and they would go through the trash every day and work just to find maybe something that they can eat or use or recycle, or maybe find something with value, and they would do that for every single day. And then it was very poor conditions, and they didn't have much, like barely anything at all to live on. There were multiple vultures and birds and everything and dogs and animals that would just come and devour everything, all the food, before they could get to it. So they would mostly just be going for treasures that would get them just a little bit of money to buy some food. And in this picture, this is Blake's boyfriend from Guatemala, and he was very nice, and he...
Very open church here, very transparent, you understand?
He was good at soccer. He was very good at soccer. This was two kids that they came to the compound a lot, where we stayed, and their names were Dina, and that's her little sister right there, and they were very good friends of Blake.
The day we arrived, we went up the mountain about an hour and a half, 2 hours from Guatemala City, and we didn't do much, but we had a church on the compound, and then the next day we had BBS for anybody that wanted to come, and we also had church that night. And yeah, at the same place on the compound. And then the next day, the guys went out to work on a roof for a house on the compound, and they put a roof on it, and we also did BBS that day. And then the next day the guys went down to a house in the village that was near, and they built a house for people that were considered poor, even by the people that lived there that were poor to us. So they built a house that day, and the next day we went to the dump, which was where Will was talking about, with all the people that went through the trash, and they would go through it and throw it off the mountain and then burn it and find what they could. But then, and then we fed them. There was 15 families that lived there, and we fed them and we ministered to them. And then we went to, what was the city called? The market. We went to Antigua to the market and saw everything that they could make. Like, they were really skilled, and they could
rugs and tapestries,
crafts and quilts and
knives.
Just things that they can make money off of to feed their families.
That part I enjoyed the fact, and I was very grateful. Emily McElfresh and Cody got to go with us, and I thought their story was neat because Emily had been at 18, and Cody was the youngest of the McElfresh children, and Cody had believed last year and started saving his money, and he's 12. And he had just believed that his dad was going to approve him to go, and his dad had been saying, no, it's too dangerous, you're not going. But anyway, Cody ended up on our trip, and Cody and Emily, and we were on a team of 23 people, and we actually got passports last year not knowing where we were going or when we were going, or we thought, a little part of me thought we might end up going to Haiti at some point, and this trip just kind of fell upon us maybe a month ago, maybe I don't know, long enough where we couldn't change our minds. And Billy's mom had some health issues, and she was actually doing better. And so it was a long, it's funny because you just don't know when or where. But I was very grateful for the fact that the four of us could experience it together, because I don't think you could go and experience something like this and then come back and two of us have gone and explained to the other two just how much it impacted your life. The other thing I realized is that I enjoy the amenities of living here. Hot showers, Diet Cokes with ice, and I don't know where Christy Woodall is, but she could say amen to that. I know she would. But, and then food. Because they don't waste anything, it's extremely offensive if you do, and we had talked to the kids about not throwing anything away and not giving anything away, and that type thing. And then the other thing that touched me or blessed me, or that I was hoping my kids would get, and I don't know if they can either nod. We've talked about it some. We've not had a chance to talk about it a lot, but there's tremendous opportunity just being born here in this country. Even if you're born under dire circumstances, maybe even an unwanted pregnancy or anything, just being able to live in this country and the opportunity to live here is amazing, because the adoptions are closed there and the visas are few and far between, which means that if you're born in Guatemala, it's too far to walk, it's too far to swim. If you're in Guatemala, there's a very high probability you're staying in Guatemala for the rest of your life. Road that we traveled up the mountain was unpaved. A lot of times it's unsafe. Several of the women were oppressed there, which if any of you know me, I wouldn't survive there very long, most likely. So, or maybe God just saw fit to put me in Russellville for a reason, but I don't think I would be a very good oppressed wife or woman. Even the girls who had been abused physically do not speak of it, and they do not point out their accuser, and even if they become impregnated, they don't talk about that. You don't know if they're with child by choice or they're with child by, so there were things that it just became so real to me about what a blessing it is just to be able to live in the United States of America. And the thing that I wanted my children to understand is that, if you're born here, that just starts you out with an advantage, and you have the opportunity to do or be anything that you want to be. The thing that I did enjoy was the hectic pace. They're not living at a hectic pace because they are not concerned about tomorrow, because today in and of itself has a full day in it, just trying to survive and live. And then additionally, they also do not. They're not thinking about or putting their hope in. And I think Mark, and I don't. Is Mark Sears is not here today. He is. Yes, he is. Okay. But I said it's funny how God just kind of perks you or puts you that. There's no doctor coming to treat these people. They're believing wholly in Jesus for healing, and they're claiming healing. And and Mark has spoke to me a couple of times, once upstairs and once down here, about that, and that blessed me because we saw healings there at the dump, and we saw people receive those, and that was, it's very, very refreshing and very overwhelming and very. I'm getting emotional talking about that, but their faith is very simple. It's not all that. It's not all of this. Mm-hmm. It's not all of that. It's very real, and it's very humbling. Mm-hmm. It's very simple, and it's not chaotic, and it's not, it's not a lot of show. We were at that's where we had church, was at that trash dump. Mm-hmm. They were grateful for just sustenance, for just that day's worth of food, and then and the pastor that was with us, that's a good friend of Pastor Chris, made sure to explain that we were not the rescuers. And the reason he explained that was they're going to be there 365 days this year, We were just going that one day for 2 hours. We weren't saving those people. But, I mean, they were much more of a blessing to us than we were to them. Because even living in that, even siphoning through that trash to find food, I saw a lady, the house that was shown with the plastic wrapped around it when we pulled up, I think I commented to you. Were you sitting beside me? Somebody was. It was, I don't know if you were on the bus with me. She was sweeping. And that struck me as so odd. She was sweeping the dirt, but it was her home. That was her home. And she took pride in her home, and she was sweeping out the top layer of dirt to get to the next layer of dirt. And that just resonated with me because that was hers, and that's what she owned, and she was, going to take care of it as best she could. Yeah. So, I don't know, it was very humbling and very, very bare bones, very, we had some amenities. We weren't roughing it. I did sleep on a tied-up bed and not a sleep number. I did forfeit some of my things that I like, and I do like my stuff, and I realized that, and I was grateful to get back to Daysville. But I realized how blessed we are in some ways, but then again how how much emphasis we place on a lot of things that are unnecessary and very materialistic. Yeah. So, but anyway, thanks for letting me share.
All right. Yeah, you can see it was a very fascinating experience for us, and we could talk all day about it. And hopefully, we went through Pleasant Union Baptist Church, and they're going to have a slideshow put together with a lot of pictures that we can maybe present at another time and location if you're interested in hearing more. But basically, I feel like we were blessed much more than we blessed them. It was just that kind of experience. The church services at night were so spiritual, and those people were so receiving and accepting of us and of God's Spirit moving, and the healing powers were amazing that we saw happen there. That it is a life-changing experience, and I would encourage anybody to go if you ever get an opportunity. And I'm just so thankful we got the opportunity to all go together the first time. It was the first time any of us had done that, and we all got to go together. So it was wonderful, and like I say, we'll try to share more later at another time, but thanks for listening to us.